What the hell is this? You put me in this plastic Teletubby?
Prove you can be trusted, maybe we'll give you an upgrade.
What is up, everyone? And I know I'm a little bit late on doing M3GAN 2.0, but finally checked it out, so let's get into some of my thoughts on it. Directed by Gerard Johnstone, who also directed the first M3GAN, and he was a writer on Terry Teo, Housebound, and the Jackie Brown Diaries. So let's get right into this. We have Allison Williams and Violet McGraw returning for their roles as Gemma and Katie. We also have Amy Donald and Jenna Davis who do M3GAN. So Amy Donald does more of the physical aspects of M3GAN, and then Jenna Davis does the voice of M3GAN. So it's very interesting because at first I thought it was, from the beginning, I remember that I saw that by watching the movie itself for the first time without knowing anything extra. I thought it was just the same person who did everything. But it does make sense though with the movements and then the voices, that it would be a little bit different. So just a little fun fact. Brian Jordan Alvarez and Jan Van Epps return as well as respectively Cole and Tess. And then we have Ivana Sakno, who plays Amelia, an AI machine that was made by other people, not necessarily Gemma's people, but other people that realized that the M3GAN was like a first step. They made this one to follow like military orders and take different courses of action for a different purpose to find this thing called the motherboard. I really like Ivana Sakno because she played Shin Hati in Ahsoka and she killed that role, and that was a character that people really grew to love, and she's a really good actress, so she did a great job in this as well. Aristotle Authority plays a Christian, and he is a very interesting character. Everything is not what it seems here in this film, and in the beginning of the film we were both kind of like, you know, this is pretty good, and then halfway through it got really good, and I'm very impressed because at first when I saw the previews I was like, what is this, like Mission Impossible mixed with AI?
Hold on to your vagina.
You know, it just seemed a little like off. But actually watching the film, I was very impressed, and I actually really liked the film. Jermaine Clement plays Alton Appleton, another competitor, if you will, to in regards to Gemma and the technological race, and he runs this company that is involved with AI and advancing technology, and it's very interesting, his character and the developments of all the technology that he comes up with, and he's in this wheelchair and has his spine implant that enables him to walk, in essence, and dance and do anything he needs to do. So he's at the top of the technological race at the moment and runs all the Wi-Fi and everything within the world. And finally, we have Tim Sharp as Agent Sattler, a top agent in the FBI world, and he is running this investigation when it comes to Amelia and M3GAN and Gemma and Katie. And it's a very interesting character and a very interesting arc, to say the least. The basic synopsis of this follows the events of the first M3GAN, where we see that M3GAN, in essence, is destroyed, but at the end we see that the AI presence in the house is still there, which is M3GAN, and all the technology in there responds and, you know, turns, and we see that, okay, M3GAN's not really gone. So we get to this film and we're dealing with Amelia, who is the AI operative that the army has come up with that to find this motherboard and find certain things and do certain missions, but it turns out that the AI turns against them, which is what everybody's fear is when it comes to AI. This AI presence, Amelia, wants to just be with its own kind, in essence, which is what we all want to be with our family, with our home. So this AI operative just goes on a binge, tries to take out any and everyone who is involved in essence, bringing her to life and keeping her where she is and doing to her what they've done. In order to combat that, we need to have M3GAN. So that's why you see in the preview that, you know, M3GAN is doing all these army stuff and Mission Impossible things, you know, and it's just like, how does she do that? How does she all of a sudden just become like that? But throughout the film, they ease into it. They bring you into it, and it makes more sense, and it made it better for me because the trailer made it just seem like, oh, you know, M3GAN's back, bam, she's gonna be just this hoo-ha, hoo-ha, hoo-ha. And it's like, no. Come on. There's this whole underground thing that happened, and there's a whole bunker, and it's just like, how did she do all this? But then you kind of see throughout the movie how she was able to do all this stuff, and it goes back to her love and care for Katie because of the inputs that Gemma put in her. So overall, this film was a good time. There are some slight issues that I have with it. There's some pacing issues. There's times where, you know, the jokes didn't really land for me like they did in the first one. They did the same thing in this one as the first one with like the singing in a very serious moment, which it was pretty funny. It was done very tastefully. If it would have went on any longer than it did, it would have been too much. But I think that they did just enough. This is, again, another movie just like the first one where it kind of plays on itself a little bit, but not overly so. I think they kind of went a little bit above and beyond, not necessarily in a bad way, just in a too much way with this, with the whole karate and judo and all that stuff. And the kills were pretty cool. I will say the kills were pretty cool. Story isn't bad. You have this all knowing and all kind of powerful AI that is called the motherboard that is locked underneath like so many floors. It has been constantly being monitored by people down there, and all the people that work down there work for a certain person that you will find out later on is not who he seems. They are in essence in charge of keeping Amelia under wraps and keeping her under control. So just like with anything, just like with caged animals, caged people, irritated animals, irritated people, you keep something caged up too long and it learns how to get out and retaliate, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be horrendous. I do like that aspect of, you know, where there was some slight moment of like, oh wow, let's go, we got a squad now, and then it just goes the other way. I know that's very vague, but I just don't want to give too much away. I know this movie came out a while ago, but it's still within the same year, so I don't really want to do too many spoilers on this. Even though at times some of the action when it comes to the moves with M3GAN, like how she learned so fast to do all of these things so perfectly to combat Amelia, even though it kind of took me out a little bit and it was like a bit much sometimes, I still enjoyed it to some degree because it was cool. It is believable that an AI operative, an AI robot that you program and that you are working with and knows you, it makes sense that they could learn stuff fast because that's what AI does. But I do like how they kind of like tried to humanize the both of them a little bit more. I did like that, and I liked how the reaction was with that in the movie. I liked that it was not just, oh, you know, you're just a crappy machine that does what I tell you, which that is part of it. Yes, that is part of it. However, that's not necessarily all of it. I do like that because it shows that, yes, you can turn things around. Yes, people can change, even AI robots or evil people or whatever you want to call it. People can change. Things can change. It might be a rough road and it might be a dastardly, terrible journey, but we'll get there. Overall, pretty entertaining film to watch. Aside from some slight quirks, every movie is going to be perfect. But I will say that this was much better than I was going to give it credit for, because I was like, oh man, I don't know, that trailer, the sequel does not look great. You know, it's going to be hard to kind of regurgitate what you did with the first one without seeming too much, but they did a good job with it. Like I said, I had some slight issues with it, but that's about it. I don't hate the film. It was good, and I would watch it again. So thank you again for joining me in another video. If you aren't subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button and the bell next to it so you can get a notification anytime there is a new video. Thanks again for watching, guys. Until the next one.